What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Loki OJ back with another video, episode 2 of the Hornets rebuild. So as you can see over here, I'm showing you guys that the settings, you can pause, you can rewind, you can stop it at any time. This is just the settings that Core Hunt wanted me to put on just to see if we can make it more competitive for this 2020 Hornets rebuild. You know, I got the player progression, all the settings set to the same as what was there, the trade sliders, everything. It's good to go. The training. Make sure the growth attributes and everything was put the way it should be. And of course the contracts, so that it's not as easy to negotiate contracts, but basically that's it. So the first thing I did when I opened this was I thought, since this team doesn't really have too many guys that 100% on the team, shouldn't we just see the G League? Check out the G League, see if there's any guys that we can get on a flyer, any young guys that would still have potential to grow in a position that we need for the future. And I got up to Ike and Nobi. We talked to him, said we could only offer him a 2-way contract because the roster's full. I figured might as well just sign him now, and then maybe we can trade a player that we don't really need for maybe a second-round pick, and we'll be stocking up picks like Danny Ainge. But of course, I know there's a limit of only 2 first-round picks for every year, so we are not going to be stocking up picks quite like the Boston Celtics and Danny Ainge. Either way, it's going to be hard to do this realistically, because realistically no players really want to come to the Hornets. So it's going to have to be done through trades, savvy maneuvers. So like you can see over here, I tried to see if there was any realistic trades that I could do for Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. I thought about this Tyler Johnson, Ricky Rubio one, but it doesn't make sense for Phoenix, because why would they trade away those guys for Kidd-Gilchrist, and wouldn't make for us sense for us either. So I let it go. The Mitchell Robinson one was interesting, but couldn't do that one either. And this one I was thinking about. Since we don't have a guaranteed power forward, maybe it would have been better to get somebody, but couldn't come to a decision there. So I thought, why not trade Willie Hernangomez, or at least look at what his trade value is out there, and if there's any teams that would work out for both teams realistically. See if we can get any value for him. San Antonio Spurs aren't going to trade the first-round pick, so obviously that's not going to happen. Thought about Patrick McCaw, because every team that he goes on, they win a championship. But then we came back to Tyson Chandler for Tyson Chandler and the Rockets' 22nd first-round pick. That's a trade that the Rockets would do simply because their title window is pretty short. They don't really need Tyson Chandler and Clint Capella to be overlapping each other, especially when you still have Nene on the roster. That's just too much overlap of players of the same skill set. At least with Willie Hernangomez, they have the ability to have a big that can stretch the floor. It helps out Russell Westbrook and James Harden, because without those guys, you know, it'll be almost like OKC Houston, where you have just enough shooters but not enough shooters when you have somebody like Westbrook who can't shoot. The next guy I was trying to look at trading was Cody Zeller, because since he's our best player right now, we're gonna see what we can get the most value from for this best player. And we came down to Bobby Portis over here. Bobby Portis playing for the New York Knicks. He's about 3 years younger than him, and we're giving the New York Knicks a second-round pick. So the New York Knicks get a second-round pick. They get a salary that's still on the same timeline as the salaries that they signed this year. And since the New York Knicks are completely loaded with just power forwards throughout their whole roster, it makes more sense for us to trade for them to at least trade for a center. Even though they have Mitchell Robinson, you don't know, it might be a sophomore year, might go into a slump. Centers have the hardest time adjusting in the NBA compared to every other position, simply because they don't get the ball as much, they don't get to make as many mistakes. So if you get Mitchell Robinson, a good veteran, and Cody Zeller, he's on a decent contract, about the same as Bobby Portis, and we'll have Bobby Portis on our team. So we got Terry Rozier, Malik Monk, Nicholas Batum. Gilchrist will be switched over for Bobby Portis. Tyson Chandler, I think eventually we're gonna have to take away his minutes. He might be good for mentoring players like PJ Washington, helping him defensively, even though he is a defensive player already coming in. I don't know why the Hornets drafted PJ Washington. Really doesn't make sense to me. That seems like a player that you would pick up if you're a contender and you just want a player that you can plug in and play right away. So who knows what the Pelicans are thinking in real life, but for right now it looks like we're gonna keep him, see how he plays out, have Kid Gilchrist coming off the bench, see if we can re-sign him in the off season for a decent contract, because he's still not a bad player. He can't shoot, but he's one of the best defenders in the NBA. And if we're gonna build a championship team, you're gonna need good defense. As you see, offense wins you games, but defense is what wins you championships. A good example is the Houston Rockets versus the Golden State Warriors. Even when Golden State lost a major offensive piece in Durant, they can still rely on their defense, and that's the main reason the people aren't really looking at as to why they won that series against Houston. Everyone just thinks Houston choked, but it was the defense, man. It's the defense. The defense is what wins you championships. Now, I was just looking up at a few of these young guys, seeing if any of them are going to be on the team. We're probably going to send a few of them to the G League. We only send 2 at a time, so we'll get to that when we get to that. Other than that, we're just going to look at Nicholas Batum real quick, see what we can get from him, see if he's worth it to move right now, and see if there's any realistic trades that make sense right now for both us and the team that we're trading with. And as you can see with 2K's trade logic, none of these trades really make sense, especially some of them don't even make sense for either teams. Like Ian Mahimi and Ish Smith, that doesn't make sense to me. So Nicholas Batum isn't tradable, but maybe Marvin Williams, because he has an expiring contract. I think a team like Utah could use a shooter like Marvin Williams. They don't have very much depth at their power forward position now, since they let Derek Favors go, they let Jay Crowder go, and they have a lot of point guard depth with the signing of Emmanuel Mudiay and Mike Conley. So I think we could take on another project in Dante Exum, but realistically, I don't think the Jazz are going to give us a pick just so that we take that $9 million contract off of them and they get us an expiring deal. So let's look if there's any other player that makes sense. There doesn't seem to be another player that makes sense, so we're going to try and make this reasonable. We'll try and do a 2020 lottery protected pick, see what they say, and I think that's a pretty fair offer. We take on Dante Exum's contract. They get a solid piece since they're a contending team, but I don't think it makes sense for us to give up 2 second-round picks just so that we can get their Jazz's lottery picks. As you've seen this year, or multiple years, second-round picks are pretty useful if you're any team really. Denver got Bobo in the second round. the Celtics picked up a few guys in the second round that might pan out, like Carson Edwards and so on. But we're just gonna try and see if we can find a way to make this trade to make sense, so that it's not too big of a difference. It's gotta at least seem pretty even. Dante Exum's also only 24 years old, so of course he fits into the trajectory of the players that we need. And if we can grow him, we could either trade him and he could be a trade piece, or who knows, maybe him and Terry Rozier can battle it out. Because both of these guys were pretty highly selected picks. I think they were in the same draft too. I think they were in the same draft. And now they're going to be on the same team. Dante Exum used to be a higher prospect. Terry Rozier, the agent, got him a better deal. By the looks of things, it looks like the Utah Jazz gave up on him by the fact that they got Mike Conley. Dante Exum is also pretty injury prone, so that's also another risk that we're taking on by taking him right now. So that's why it would make sense for the Utah Jazz to give away the 2021 pick, but it's lottery protected, so if they're not good by then, it shouldn't really be a problem. Either way, I think that's a pretty fair trade-off, and I think we're doing pretty good. So we're just gonna sim a few games, see how we're doing at the end of it, and then maybe in the next episode I will start sending players to training, look at the roster and see which players I should send to the G League. And I don't think I'm gonna make any more trades this season, because realistically, the reason why I made so many trades right now is because I'm taking it as in we're still in the off season and there's still some moves to be made. The Pelicans fired their GM because he gave Terry Rozier that contract. Now Michael Jordan brought me in to try and solve this mess, make sure everything's good, get this team back in the playoffs and win a championship in 3 years. Even though in this whole franchise's history it's never won a championship. And now we got 3 years. We got 3 years to do this. And we also probably should do it under the luxury tax, because Michael Jordan doesn't seem like the owner to pay the luxury tax. He just isn't that guy. So we've lost 4 straight. Somehow this Chicago game is an important game. It doesn't make sense. I might have to fire this coach too. I don't think he's the right guy for a championship team. I'll probably do that in the next episode too. I'm not going to change anything. There's no point. It's not an important game. Oh, you look at that. We didn't change anything and we won twice against them. So obviously this coach doesn't know what he's doing. But let's just look at the player training and look at some of these things here. I guess next episode we'll look into it a little bit more. Make sure we got everybody what they want. See if we can get improvements in certain areas for certain players. But other than that, just quickly check the standings. Southwest Division, we're second last. Of course, the Wizards, in real life, they might actually be halfway decent if Isaiah Thomas pans out. And what, Brooklyn next, or last? KD's not injured. They've got a squad over here, and somehow they're still last. That's 2K for you, man. Maybe I guess Kyrie and KD just couldn't get along at the beginning of the season. I guess that's it. But you guys, thanks for watching the video. And, if you like the video, make sure to hit that like button. If you want to see more of these, be sure to subscribe. If you have any questions or suggestions, put it down in the comments section.